So all of this is happening as the Liberal Party tries to figure out what's next to replace Justin Trudeau. And so far, there is only one name that to this point is all in for the Liberal leadership contest. Frank Baylis was a Quebec Liberal MP in Trudeau's first government in 2015, but he chose not to seek re-election in his Montreal riding in 2019. Baylis is also in the medical business. He's currently the executive chairman of Baylis MedTech, and he and his partner also sold their heart device business a few years ago for $1.75 billion US. And Frank Baylis joins me now. Mr. Baylis, welcome to Power and Politics. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So you're the first person to officially declare for this. Why are you the person to replace Justin Trudeau?
Why am I the person to replace Justin Trudeau? Good question. Well, I think I bring a different perspective. I'm a businessman, so what's different about me is that I'm not a career politician. I'm someone that spent most of my life, my career and my profession. I'm a professional engineer by training, and I'm a businessman by the work I do.
Right, so the business background is what you think the Liberal Party needs right now, what the Government of Canada needs at this point in time?
I think the whole government needs that, not just the Liberal Party. I think the whole government could benefit from someone that's lived a little bit more what I'd say in the real world, someone that's coming from industry. That's what's going to drive our economy, make life better for Canadians everywhere, is to create great jobs, create great economies so that people can afford to buy houses, their groceries and everything. It really stems from that. And that, I think, is something that I bring to the table.
Okay, so you were an MP for one term. In 2015, you were elected, chose not to run again in 2019. Why would you bow out of a political career after just 4 years and now decide you want to come back and seek the leadership and potentially become the Prime Minister of Canada?
So first of all, your question is a great one because I don't think we should have career politicians. I know we have them, I know that's the norm now, but I don't agree with that. I don't think it's the right thing to drive our country forward. So I was never intending on being a career politician. I think it was a great honor for me, and I'm very glad that I got that opportunity to serve Canada, and I'm very proud of that. But I was never planning on being a career politician.
Right.
I stepped away, and now I'm stepping back in because I think that there's a need for someone like me that can have a positive impact and really bring the change that I want to see happen for Canada.
Well, I appreciate your assessment of career politicians, but one of the benefits of being a career politician is that you build the experience in a caucus and maybe in a cabinet and how government works, and you build a profile. Yes. I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this. I'm not sure a lot of even Liberal voters in this leadership would know who Frank Baylis is. So how do you overcome that, right?
No, you're absolutely right. So I don't benefit from the fact that I've lived my life in the private eye. I mean, in the public eye. I've been in the private world, in the private business. So I don't benefit from that all the other candidates who are going to be running for leadership have been in the public eye their whole life. But that's okay. I'm up for that challenge, and I think that in that light I do bring something different. I am not a public personality, and I haven't made my living just doing politics. I've made my living creating businesses, creating jobs for Canadians, and being successful in that field.
But you know, you still need to be known, you still need to resonate. This is going to be a short leadership process that's then going to roll into a very quick election process. There's not a lot of time there for someone like you to introduce yourself to Liberals, let alone the country.
Yeah, no, look, so I've been a Liberal my whole life, let's be clear about that, and I've had different roles. Behind the scenes, I've been head of fundraising for the Quebec arm of the Liberal Party. I've been a finance guy for my local riding for many years, and I ran as a candidate for one term. I ran and won the nomination, and then I ran as a local MP. So you're absolutely right that I'm not a well-known candidate and not a well-known person, but this is just another challenge that I'll have to face, and I'm up for the challenge. And not only that, but I think it does differentiate me from everybody else. So I actually see it as a positive.
What do you think of the situation your party finds itself in now? The Prime Minister has been under pressure for months from members of his caucus and others to reconsider his leadership and leave his leadership, but he didn't do it until the 6th of January, and there's not a lot of runway here. And the polling numbers are what the polling numbers are. I mean, are you looking at this next election as a chance to hold on to government, or is this as an opportunity for the Liberal Party to save the furniture?
Well, first I'd like to thank the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Trudeau, for what he's done for our country and the service that he's given. Whether everybody agrees with all that he did or not, I think he worked with good faith towards making Canada a better place. So I thank him for that. Now, with respect to the Liberal Party, I know everybody looks at the polls and it looks dismal, and we can't hide from that, but I'm actually quite optimistic, to be honest. I think that giving Canadians the right choice, letting them see that there's alternatives to Pierre Poilievre to lead our country, and bringing someone in that's actually lived in the real world, had real world experiences, knows what it's like to create jobs, to create economies, to make it such that it's better for Canadians. I think that if Canadians are given that choice, I think they'll look twice at it. So I can't predict the future, but I'm actually very optimistic. And I think the Liberal Party is a great party, proud to be part of it. And I don't subscribe to the doomsday that everybody's seeing.
I wonder, though, Mr. Baylis, is you're making this announcement without knowing what the rules are, without knowing what the timeline is, without knowing what the entry requirement, entry fees would be. Is there anything that could be put in place by the Liberal Party executive that would deter you from pushing ahead with this?
That's a good point. So I should clarify that I am fully planning to run. However, I do not know the rules. They are being put forward as we speak. But barring something that's untoward that I can't run, no, it's my full plan to run, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Do you have any caucus support? Have you heard from any MPs, any cabinet ministers, any other heavyweights in the party who say they're going to support you? Because a low-profile outsider bid is going to need some of that if you're going to have any kind of hope here.
So I purposely did not contact some of my past colleagues to tell them that I was planning on running. And the reason I did that is I didn't think it was right to put them in that position. So Prime Minister Trudeau has just stepped down. I haven't even started to make those phone calls. To be honest, I've been overwhelmed with the number of people calling me and saying they want to support me, and just getting my team together and all that. Right. That's really taken up a lot of my time. And as you pointed out, I'm not going to be a out-the-door favorite. I'm not the known candidate with the big profile, but these are just a challenge for me that I'm happy to step up to in that. So I get along with almost all of my colleagues. Most of them I think are great people. All of them are great people, and I was proud to serve with them.
Well, whoever wins this, whether it's you or one of your other former colleagues or whoever gets into this race, there's an enormous challenge looming from the South, from President-elect Donald Trump. He has said tariffs are coming. He has suggested using economic coercion today to get rid of the border and merge Canada and the United States. Yeah. How should the government of Canada respond to this? So
I should say that through my career, I can't tell you how many contracts I've negotiated with Americans, with private citizens, with insurance companies, with hospitals, with buying groups, with the FDA, the federal governments, the Veterans Affairs parts of the government. So I've dealt with many, many Americans writing contracts, dealing with contracts. Some are extremely reasonable, some are difficult, some are challenging. Obviously, President-elect Trump will be a challenge, but that's nothing new, and I don't see any need for us to panic, to get worked up. He will say things that will be provocative. That's his style, knock us down, try and get us worried. But no, we need to prepare for every eventuality, but I would not be hitting the panic button at all.
Right.
Just be preparing for it.
But you know, we heard from Dominic LeBlanc and others that they dismissed this as a joke when it was first raised. It doesn't seem like it's a joke anymore.
No. First of all, I didn't say it was a joke.
No, I was just getting your interpretation compared to the government's.
No, it's an insult as far as I see it, and that's part of his modus operandi. There's nothing we can do about that, so there's no point in getting worked up about it. Canada is not joining the United States of America. We are different people. They have a great nation, we have a great nation. But we're not joining them, and anything he chooses to say in the tweet here or there is irrelevant. And it's also irrelevant to him wanting to discuss border issues. There's no need to send out idle threats and that. It's normal that a Canadian Prime Minister and a US President would discuss the border. We've had border issues forever. It's a very long, undefended border, and we should be talking about it. And I'd be happy to talk about it if I was the Prime Minister. But there's no need to make these threats, and it's not going to make a difference in how we move forward with it.
So, Mr. Baylis, just one last question. I mean, what do you think the Liberal Party should do in terms of the timeline and the rules for this leadership race? What should the entrance fee be? Should it be high, so that serious candidates who can fundraise from a broad base get in? Should it be quick because of the looming return of Parliament at the end of March? What are your thoughts on what this race should look like in structure and form?
Well, I would obviously like it to be as long as possible for the reasons that you pointed out. I'm the least known candidate. But I also believe that when you're buying something, people that try and rush you to make a choice, buy now, act now, whatever, they're selling you something that's not great. And the person that says, whoa, please slow down, take your time, look at all your options, they're trying to sell you something that they really believe in. So my approach is going to be to say to people, please slow down, let's take our time and look at everybody. And I'll also say the same thing if I am lucky enough to be the leader of the Liberal Party when it comes to a national vote. And I'll say again, please slow down. I know you've had some frustrations with the past leader and with the Liberal Party in some ways, but I do believe that we can offer Canadians something wonderful, really good, and a great future. I am extremely optimistic about Canada and Canada's future, with or without Trump being president, with or without the challenges that we have today.
Frank Baylis, it was good to have you on the show. Good luck in the race. Good to see you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.